This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
After months of uncertainty, Tasmania's major industrial gas users could see a resolution to the gas supply dispute within weeks. Hydro Tasmania has triggered arbitration after failing to come to an agreement with the Tasmanian gas pipeline. But there are fears taxpayers may bear the brunt of an expensive settlement.
Uncertainty has been hanging over Tasmania's major industrial gas users for months. A negotiation stalemate between Hydro Tasmania and the Tasmanian gas pipeline for a new gas supply deal, sparking fears of price hikes and job losses. But a resolution is on the horizon, with arbitration triggered.
We've left as much time as we could for a negotiated outcome to occur, but by going to arbitration today, we're ensuring that if interim arrangements are required, that they'll be in place by the end of the year.
Hydro Tasmania says negotiations will continue in hopes of an agreement outside the court process. The gas pipeline owners expect a deal to be struck within weeks, a fed-up industry desperate for gas price security.
It means that there is a 90-day limit to those negotiations. We would like to see a solution announced before the end of November.
The state's Energy Security Task Force suggested a deal be agreed to by March. Today, an 11th-hour trigger to force an outcome.
It's putting in place arrangements which are normal business practice to secure an outcome which is mutually agreeable and will provide confidence to the industry. This is exactly how it should have occurred.
We know it should have been resolved by March of this year, and now we're worried that it's going to not only take a much longer period of time to resolve this issue, but also cost the Tasmanian taxpayer as well.
The Minister unwilling to put a cost on the arbitration process, a process that could take another 3 months.
To ensure that the outcome is what workable competition would deliver, and we think that's failing a negotiated outcome, that'll be a good outcome for Tasmanians.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
A woman and 3 children have escaped unharmed from a unit fire in Glenorchy this morning. Firefighters had a close call with the roof collapsing as they battled the blaze.
Firefighters used their truck as leverage as they worked to contain a fire off Elwick Road in Glenorchy. A unit was fully alight by the time crews arrived shortly after 11 o'clock this morning.
Rear right end of the unit was fully involved in fire and extending over into adjoining property, and the fire had well and truly taken hold of the unit.
A woman and 3 children escaped from the unit unharmed, and an elderly neighbour with a medical condition was evacuated. The blaze ripped through the unit, causing the roof to collapse.
Which happened in the course of the firefighting, but luckily our firefighters weren't in the space when it collapsed, but it was a fairly close call for them as they were in the course of trying to put the fire out.
The tight driveway and location of the fire made access difficult for emergency crews. They managed to get to the back of the unit through other properties.
We just had to negotiate some fences, and then the additional appliances that arrived were eventually able to negotiate their way up the driveway.
The cause of the fire is believed to be accidental and has completely destroyed the home and contents, with an estimated cost of $150,000. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Well, police and the family of a missing Beauty Point woman hold concerns for her welfare. Sally Ann Brown-Davis was last seen leaving her home around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Police say she has dementia and may be driving her white 1999 Daewoo Nibiru similar to this. She's known to drive between Launceston and Hobart when feeling overwhelmed. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. A Tasmanian man charged over the shooting of 11-year-old girl Phoenix Newitt has appeared in Launceston's Supreme Court. Nathan Richard Campbell previously pleaded not guilty to causing grievous bodily harm and recklessly discharging a firearm in relation to the August incident. His lawyer today indicated an application would be made for a preliminary proceedings hearing. Judge Robert Pearce continued Mr Campbell's bail. He will next appear in court on the 11th of December. A Lotta man accused of murdering his neighbour by shooting him in the head is expected to stand trial next week. Kerry Alexander Bilston appeared briefly in the Launceston Supreme Court today. He's previously pleaded not guilty to the murder charge. He's due to appear again on Monday. Tasmanians are being urged to give generously to support Hobart City Mission's Christmas Assistance Program. Commonwealth Bank branches are accepting toy donations for children in need over the festive season. City Mission says some families have to choose between presents and putting food on the table.
So when it comes to providing Christmas presents as well, then you are at risk of having to make that choice, and that's when it really hurts, because none of us like to see our children go without presents at Christmas time.
600 toys were donated to children last Christmas. Each year, while most of us sit at home watching the Sydney to Hobart yacht race, one Tasmanian man takes to the sky. Photographer Richard Bennett has been capturing the dramatic moments of the famous race from a small aircraft for 44 years. And now the best of his work has been put on show.
The rougher, the better, according to Richard Bennett.
I don't like fine sunny weather. I like wind and strong wind and storms within reason, because that's where the dramatic photographs are.
Since 1974, Mr. Bennett has been capturing the best and most gruelling moments of the Sydney to Hobart.
A lot has changed. It used to take a week in 1974. There are a lot of small boats, but now that we have sponsorship, more money is invested in the high-tech yachts. And the boats are getting bigger, very, very fast.
Now Mr. Bennett's favourite images from the past 5 decades flow along the walls of the Maritime Museum of Tasmania. The Bruny Island-based photographer's old cameras also on display, showing how times have changed.
I went digital in 2008. I was a dinosaur. I put it off forever. But 2008 I went digital, and that changed a lot. Faster shutter speeds, more sensitive sensors, meaning I can shoot almost in the dark.
But one year that Mr. Bennett will never forget is 1998. Winds reached in excess of 70 knots, and the plane he was photographing from became a search aircraft.
We found the boat stand aside, and we watched them launch one of their rafts.
6 sailors lost their lives that year, but almost 2 decades on, Mr. Bennett says he still enjoys photographing the famous race, and he will be adding to his collection for many more years.
I'm just approaching my prime. I have another couple of decades to run, I would think.
The exhibition runs until the end of January. Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
A former Tasmanian senator accused of unlawfully possessing and selling abalone will face preliminary proceedings in the Launceston Magistrates Court. Shane Michael Murphy and his wife Katie Lou appeared in the Supreme Court this morning. Justice Robert Pearce granted the pair bail and ordered them to reappear in the Magistrates Court for a preliminary hearing on February 15. Around half a dozen witnesses will be called to give evidence. A multi-million-dollar super yacht has taken up berth in Tasmania. Heteros made an impressive sight sailing on the River Derwent. It's more than 65 metres long with 2 massive masts, more than 50 metres tall. It has 10 cabins on board with a luxury fit-out and an estimated price tag of around $10 million. It's believed to be owned by German billionaire Otto Happel. The Hobart International is revamping the experience for fans at the 2018 tennis tournament with a new look Sky Bar. The corporate space will be accompanied by a new menu from a renowned Tasmanian chef using local produce.
Hopefully we can make it that it is a bit about the food from my level, that people actually enjoy good food. So let's make it about the guests.
We follow on after the Hopman Cup in Perth and also the Brisbane International as well. So it's a great lead-up event to the Australian Open, and you're going to see some of those players that are on the biggest stage the week after this event.
Players for the January tournament will be revealed next month. A Tasmanian team is on top of the national leaderboard in a frantic month of fundraising for Movember. RACT joined the cause today, raising money with a special lunch. Its CEO has also joined moustache-growing efforts to help promote men's health.
I've been roped in, it is an important cause, and I'm happy to sport a bit of a mo for a few days to help encourage people to donate for this very worthwhile cause.
We're currently #1 fundraising team for Movember in Australia. We've been the top team the last 2 years and we hope to be in that spot come the end of the month.
The Mobar Mobros have raised more than $55,000 so far. Preparations are in full swing as anglers get ready to take on the rest of the country in the Australian Fly Fishing Championships. The competition will decide who will cast in the role of representing the nation on the world stage in 2019.
Next week, a sea of the best fly fishers will descend on Tasmanian shores in a bid to fight for the top spot.
We'll have 60 people come from all around Australia, and they are going to be vying for positions to represent Australia in 2019 in the World Championships.
The national fly fishing event to determine who will represent the nation in 2 years' time.
This is where we'll pick the team to represent Australia in 2019 when we host the World Championships. So it's vitally important to all those top anglers here, if they want to be wearing green and gold in 2019, they've got to be working hard.
Participants wading the waters in preparation, and for some, it's a daily ritual.
I know there's a few that have probably treated it like a job, and they're actually out there every day fishing the venues. So a lot of it's about being quite well prepared, but when you're on the water, sometimes it's a little bit about luck.
Mark Youngman is a local and hopes competing at home will work to his benefit.
It's definitely an advantage when you're on your home territory, there's no doubt about that. However, a lot of the interstate people would be down in Tasmania a huge amount of the time.
The national event will lead up to the world competition, expected to reel in the world's best anglers.
Tasmania's been chosen because it's probably one of the iconic wild trout fisheries in the world. And we're known for our brown trout fishery, and all the competing anglers around the world always think this is a good place to come.
It will also see a number of women involved in the male-dominated sport.
Fly fishing with women is growing exponentially worldwide, so the more the merrier, we say, and they make very good fly fishermen by and large.
Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
The finalists in the men's and women's Tasmanian Amateur Championships have been decided. Tasmanian Andrew Phillips progressed, finishing 1 up after 18 holes in his semi-final against Hayden Gulliver. He'll now face Changi Lee, who recorded a 2-1 victory over Tim Smith. In the women's, Adele Douglas won 2-1. She'll take on Grace Kim in the final at Cambridge tomorrow.
Good evening. How was that for a Monday? Nice one. Hobart 27 and Launceston 28. Bit cooler, but still fine for Burnie and Devonport. Bushy Park, Campania and Ooze all on our high of 31 as the warm northeasterlies brought that fine, mostly sunny day today. Maydena 30, Grove 29 and Strawn 28. Cressy 27. Flinders Island reached 24. Friendly Beaches 23 today. Wynyard, St Helens, Lyre, Weenie and King Island 22. High cloud found its way over central parts of the nation. A thunderstorm developing well inland as well. A little bit of cloud also over the Bight, directing over the eastern states, while in the west another front looms. Elevated convective cloud sits over parts of the west of Tasmania. Patchy high cloud also drifting over the state. A little sea fog about the southwest. Now, not much change in the pattern for tomorrow. The high remains over the Tasman Sea. Low pressure troughs persist over the northwest and central parts of the nation. The cold front moves slowly eastwards. North-northeasterly winds at 15 to 25 knots over the east coast, lighter elsewhere around the coastline and more variable inland. Tomorrow shaping up okay as well, if you like the sunshine, that is. 28 degrees for Hobart, 23 for Adventure Bay and 28 for Tarraleah. Launceston fine, mostly sunny, 28, bit of cloud for Devonport and Bridport, the temperatures in the low 20s. For Burnie, cloud clearing, 21, 28 and fine for Strawn, continuing the fine sunny weather over the west. Marrawar mostly sunny and 22. And for the east, partly cloudy for St Helens, 22, warming up to 26 over Swansea. Whitemark, 22 degrees. UV at the top of the very high range, bordering on extreme. Cancer Council suggests some screening if you are exposed tomorrow. On Wednesday, fine and mostly sunny, locally hot in the south. The sunshine continues over the west on Thursday with cloudy weather elsewhere with a shower possible. And on Friday, showers developing over the afternoon, northeast to southeasterly winds. Sunny and 26 in Perth tomorrow, warm and partly cloudy in Adelaide, sunny day in Melbourne and Alice Springs. A possible shower forecast for Sydney and Brisbane. It's clear at the moment, 22 in Hobart, 23 right now in Launceston and 19 in Devonport. Joe, I've got to say, I really do like the way you've thrown those 3 old dresses together to make up the one outfit. I reckon it'll catch on.
You'll keep. That's all from the news team for now. We will, of course, see you throughout the evening. Bye-bye.